Roughly 6.5 million dogs and cats are left homeless every year, as stated by the ASPCA. And only 1 out of every 10 dogs is going to find a home. If that's not heartbreaking, then I don't know what is. In this informative speech, I'm going to help you understand the steps it takes to open an animal shelter. We'll first go over the initial consideration, experience and training it will require, the location, and finally we will discuss the fundraising and donations that are going to be necessary. The first and most obvious step is to consider the following. What types of animals will your shelter be for? Do you want to take in dogs, cats, horses, or perhaps even pigs and other livestock? How many animals can you provide for? Maybe the location you choose will only be big enough for 20 animals, or maybe you purchase a place that is big enough for 50 or more animals. How many kennels can you acquire, and how much food can you have on hand 24/7? You will need to be able to have more than enough food for all of the animals that you have. You will also need to be prepared to take on animals that have medical needs, and some will even need a special diet. How are you going to hire employees or recruit volunteers? These are all things that you must think about and be confident with before deciding to pursue opening a shelter. The next thing we'll talk about is the experience and the training that you should have as a shelter owner. You will be required to have the basic knowledge of health, first aid, and CPR. If an emergency were to happen and you did not have time to get to the vet, could you keep them alive long enough for someone to get there? Will you have a vet tech on staff, or will you have a preferred veterinarian close to the shelter in case of emergencies? As a side note, it is always an excellent idea to work or volunteer at a shelter to get an idea of what the responsibilities you're going to have. Next we'll talk about is location. You need to be able to separate animals at your shelter. Dogs and cats must be separated for their comfort and their safety. Animals that are sick and contagious will also need to be in a separate area to make sure that no diseases or illnesses are transferred between animals. It is not only unsafe, but can also be a costly mistake in terms of vaccinations and vet bills. You will also need to be comfortable with the physical location of the shelter. Is it in a safe location for the animals and the workers to be outside? Can the land be utilized? For example, will you need new construction to make your shelter work? Even just walking the dogs needs to be safe and secure. Try to think of a place with low traffic and somewhere the animals can be taken on long runs. Perhaps you want to purchase some land that can be fenced in to even then make a dog run. Last but not least, fundraising and donations need to be completely understood. Will you offer people a membership program where they can pay a small monthly fee to help animals in need? Or can you perhaps run a fundraising program to help you get enough money to even start your shelter? As previously stated, roughly 6.5 million animals are homeless, and the number will continue to increase by the year, especially when people are refusing to spay and neuter their animals. Many animals are left stranded and starving, and it is up to us to help as many as we can. As members of the audience, there are many things you can do at your local shelter today, such as donating old bedding, towels, and any unused dog food. Unless someone helps, this is a problem that will continue to grow. There are many other things that need to be taken into consideration, but location, fundraising, and experience are some of the most important things to take into consideration. Thank you for taking the time to listen to my informative speech.